This question from Tara, who is training for Happy Valley 70.3. In regards to what to wear for the race, during training, we have the luxury, she says, of being able to wear what we want that's most comfortable for each sport. I understand the importance of not busting out a new outfit on race day, but as a new triathlete, any suggestions on how to choose what might work best on race day to wear for all three sports? I envision myself fumbling to go pee with a skin suit or a trisuit, but that is what I typically see. So assuming a triathlon here and no wetsuit for the swim, what should she wear for the sport?
Well, again, she mentioned trisuit. If you have a one-piece trisuit with a zipper, yes, that if you have to stop at the Porta-John pee, it does take time to unzip the trisuit, take it off your shoulders, to sit down. Or I've done this. If it's just pee, I've gone in a Porta-John and just sat down and peed through the trisuit. And then I get out at the aid station and I kind of wash my body down with water. So that's usually not a big issue. But I'm someone who really doesn't wear the trisuit. I prefer a two-piece. So I'll wear tri-shorts rather than cycling shorts because the tri-shorts has a thinner pad. And I'll wear a tank top. So when I have to pee, I can just pull down the tri-shorts. And it does make peeing a little bit easier. There are people, though, that will wear a swimsuit underneath a wetsuit or just wear a swimsuit with no wetsuit. Then they'll run through the changing tent, which you have a luxury of doing in a 70.3 or 140.6, and they'll take their swimsuit off and they'll put on a pair of cycling shorts with a thicker pad and a cycling jersey, because a cycling jersey, they can carry tools and fuel, and that's what they train in. So they're comfortable taking that extra time. And then when they come off the bike, they, again, run into the changing tent, take that extra time to completely take off their cycling gear and put on a pair of fresh running shorts and a fresh top. That's totally doable. You're not going to be the only one doing that. It just takes more time. So if you're someone that might be battling the cutoffs, then you might not want to take the extra time in transition.
Here's a follow-up question, and I get what this question is all about. Common mistakes you see from first-time triathletes. What advice do you try to give that doesn't seem to sink in? So even though you tell them to do this or advise them to do this, they keep on making the same mistakes over and over again for first-time triathletes. What comes to mind?
I think there's three things. So when it comes to like race-specific mistakes, is number one, not resting enough, tapering their training plan or following the taper of their training plan and going into the race too fatigued is a common mistake. And even though there's articles and other podcasts and other professional people talking about that, they've never done it before. So they don't necessarily understand it or trust that process. The second thing is not fueling correctly the week of the race, during their training, or race day, because they haven't practiced it in training. So they may go into the race and kind of not really remember how important the fuel is and not have a plan. So they're randomly eating or drinking versus filling out a race plan outline and knowing exactly what and when and how much they're going to eat during the course of the race. And the third thing is from a race perspective is improper pacing. So they haven't really paid attention to their training zones or training effort by power pace, heart rate, or rate of perceived effort. And then they go into this race and they're racing, which is good. Sometimes in a shorter race, it's good to just explode and go beyond your comfort zone and see what happens. But when it comes to the longer races, you're best prepared is if you understand some sort of a pacing plan. So maybe on a 56-mile bike, you're going to take it at a rate of perceived effort, 4 or 5, or at a certain power zone at that same rate of perceived effort. And then you plan on pushing the second half, or you plan on just pushing the last 10 miles, or maybe you plan on not pushing at all and you keep all the same effort. You could do that for the swim and the bike. So those are the three common mistakes that I see, even though, I'm constantly trying to educate athletes on the importance of those three things.
I think this is these complement each other in terms of what isn't followed is that trusting the coach and being patient with what happens on race day, because your coach says do this and you get excited and go, nah, I can do more, and the coach has it laid out. Here's what our plan is. If they've, they're with you the whole time. Here's what you're trying to do. And then you have to trust that, and you don't trust it because maybe you just feel confident and you're not patient throughout the day. If you, especially as a first timer, and depends on the distance, let's say you're a first timer and doing the Olympic, boy, that run can catch up with you if you don't trust the process and the pacing throughout the day. And then it's like, oh, that's why she or he told me to, pace the bike this way. And now I'm struggling, or I'm bonking, or I'm cramping, and I don't have enough left in the tank for the run.
Right. And if that happens to you, then it's just a learning opportunity, and hopefully you'll learn from it and you'll process it and you'll make changes going into the next one.